Welcome to PastCast. Join us as we dive into the events and lives that shaped our world.
Sounds exciting.
Each episode reveals fascinating facts and stories from history.
I'm ready.
Ready to journey through time.
Let's go.
Let's begin. We often hear about the major players and battles of World War II.
Right.
But today we're taking a deep dive into a lesser-known story. The Canary Girls.
Interesting.
What's fascinating about the Canary Girls is that their story really highlights the contributions of women on the home front.
Oh, absolutely. Their contributions are often overlooked during wartime.
I'm intrigued already. The name itself sounds almost cheerful, but something tells me there's more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Can you tell us who these Canary Girls were?
So picture this. You're in Britain during World War II,
Okay.
and over 950,000 women are working tirelessly in munitions factories.
Wow.
These women were the Canary Girls, and their job was vital to the war effort.
Wow. Almost 1 million women.
It's incredible.
That's an incredible workforce.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the sheer scale of production they were responsible for.
Exactly. Their work was incredibly demanding.
I bet.
And as you pointed out, the name Canary Girls has a strange juxtaposition to it.
Yeah.
It stems from their constant exposure to dangerous chemicals like sulfur in the explosives,
Oh, wow.
which actually turned their skin and hair yellow.
It's a striking visual.
It is.
And it makes you wonder about the conditions they were working under.
Definitely.
Was the yellow skin the only danger they faced?
Unfortunately, no.
Really?
The yellow skin was just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak.
Oh, no.
Remember, these women were handling highly volatile materials day in and day out.
Yeah.
Accidents and explosions were a constant threat,
Oh, my gosh.
and the long-term health risks were significant.
I can see how that would create a tremendous amount of stress and anxiety.
Oh,
It must have been a truly terrifying experience.
it was.
What kind of long-term health concerns were they facing?
One of the most serious risks was toxic jaundice,
Toxic jaundice.
a condition caused by exposure to TNT.
Oh, wow.
During World War I, there were over 400 reported cases of toxic jaundice among women working in munitions factories.
That's a lot.
And tragically, 25% of those cases were fatal.
That's a sobering statistic.
It is.
It really highlights the severity of the risks they were taking.
Absolutely.
And beyond the immediate danger of explosions and toxic jaundice,
Right.
what other long-term health problems did they face?
Well, prolonged exposure to these chemicals could lead to liver damage,
Oh, gosh.
bone issues, and even potential reproductive problems.
That's awful.
In fact, there were concerns about increased cancer risk as well.
Really?
We have to remember that this was a time when the long-term effects of many of these chemicals were not fully understood.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that war has consequences that extend far beyond the battlefield,
Yes.
affecting people's lives in profound and often invisible ways.
Absolutely.
So they were risking their health, facing constant danger.
Right.
But still, they kept showing up to work every day.
Mhm.
What kept them going? Was it purely a sense of duty to the war effort?
Well, patriotic duty certainly played a role,
Sure.
but it was also the incredible camaraderie they found amongst themselves.
Oh, okay.
They were all in it together, facing the same dangers, the same anxieties.
It makes sense.
This shared experience forged a strong bond between them.
It's amazing how people can find strength and unity in the face of such adversity.
It is.
Do we have any firsthand accounts from the Canary Girls themselves?
We do.
Oh, wow.
That shed light on their experiences and what it was like to be part of this unique sisterhood.
I'd love to hear one.
There are stories about women like Louisa Jacobs who would lead sing-alongs during their shifts to boost morale and keep their spirits up.
Wow.
Imagine the power of their voices echoing through those factories,
Like, hey.
a testament to their resilience and their spirit.
Right.
It wasn't just about making munitions.
Yeah.
It was about supporting each other through incredibly difficult times.
That's such a powerful image.
It-
Music as a source of strength and unity in the face of danger.
Definitely.
It really speaks to their resilience and their ability to find moments of joy, even amidst such challenging circumstances.
Absolutely.
Hearing you describe their experiences makes me realize that the nickname Canary Girls,
Yeah.
while seemingly lighthearted, actually carries a lot of weight.
Absolutely.
It reflects both the danger they faced with the yellow skin as a visible marker,
Yeah,
but also their resilience and their unique identity as a group.
you're right.
It's really interesting.
It is. It's interesting to think about how a simple nickname can encapsulate so much.
It really does.
It speaks to the complexity of their experience, the pride, the fear,
Yeah.
the camaraderie, and the sense of identity it fostered among them.
And it highlights how much we can learn from these seemingly small details of history.
You're right.
But for some of the Canary Girls,
Yeah.
that nickname might have been a bit bittersweet, wouldn't you say?
Probably for some.
After all, the yellow skin was a constant reminder of the risks they were taking.
Yeah.
And the lack of recognition they often faced.
You're absolutely right.
I could imagine that was frustrating.
Many of them felt that their contributions to the war effort were undervalued and underappreciated.
I bet.
In fact, there's a rather poignant quote from a Canary girl named Gladys Billings
Oh, yeah.
that reflects this sentiment.
Hmm.
She said, "I do think we should have got a medal for what we did, and we should have got a letter from the Queen."
That's a powerful statement.
It is.
It speaks volumes about the sacrifices these women made
It does.
and the sense that their efforts weren't fully acknowledged.
Right.
It's easy to forget that history is often told from a particular perspective.
Yes.
And the stories of those who labored tirelessly behind the scenes can easily be overlooked.
Precisely. And the Canary Girls story is a perfect example of that.
I see that.
Their work was crucial to the Allied victory,
Right.
but their contributions were often overshadowed by the more visible roles played by soldiers on the front lines.
But their impact was undeniable.
It was.
Imagine if those factories had ground to a halt
Yeah.
because there weren't enough people to produce the munitions.
Oh, wow.
The war effort would have been severely hampered.
You hit the nail on the head.
Their dedication and hard work were essential to keeping the Allied forces supplied and equipped.
Absolutely.
It's important to remember that those millions of bullets, bombs, and shells played a vital role in the eventual Allied victory.
Right.
The Canary Girls were quite literally helping to turn the tide of war.
Yeah,
It's a sobering thought,
it is.
and it makes you wonder about the long-term impact of their work on their lives.
Right.
We talked about the immediate dangers and health concerns.
Yes.
But what about the years that followed the war?
Right.
Did those health issues they worried about actually come to pass?
Sadly, for many of them, they did.
Oh, no.
The long-term effects of exposure to those explosives and toxic chemicals were quite severe.
Oh, wow.
They experienced everything from chronic skin conditions to liver damage and respiratory problems.
That's heartbreaking to hear.
Yeah, it is.
It seems like their dedication to the war effort came at a very high personal cost.
It did.
Was anything done at the time to mitigate these risks or provide support for the women who were suffering from these long-term health effects?
There were some attempts to improve safety measures in the factories,
Okay.
and doctors did raise concerns about the dangers of TNT poisoning.
So they knew.
But keep in mind, this was wartime and production was paramount.
Right.
There was a real push to keep those factories running at full capacity.
Yeah, I understand.
And sometimes the well-being of the workers took a backseat to the demands of war.
So even with some awareness of the risks,
Yeah.
the urgency of the situation often overshadowed concerns about worker safety.
It's true.
It's a complex issue,
Absolutely.
and it makes you think about the ethical dilemmas that arise during times of war.
The Canary Girls story highlights the importance of worker safety transparency and informed consent even when national security is at stake.
I see what you mean.
It's a reminder that we must always strive to balance the needs of the many with the well-being of the individual,
That's just so important.
even in the most challenging of circumstances.
It's also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.
That could.
These women faced danger, hardship, and uncertainty,
Right.
but they persevered. They found strength in their shared experiences
Yeah.
and made a lasting contribution to the war effort,
Absolutely.
despite the personal toll it took on them.
And their story also fits into a larger narrative about the changing role of women during World War II.
Oh, so.
They were stepping out of traditional gender roles, entering traditionally male-dominated fields,
Wow.
and proving that they were capable of contributing to the war effort in vital ways.
It's a reminder that war can often be a catalyst for social change,
It can.
sometimes in unexpected ways.
Definitely.
The Canary Girls, by taking on these essential roles, challenged societal norms
They did.
and paved the way for future generations of women to pursue opportunities that had previously been out of reach.
Exactly. Their experiences helped to reshape perceptions of women's capabilities and their rightful place in society.
It must have been an interesting time for women.
It was a pivotal moment in the ongoing struggle for gender equality.
And it wasn't just in Britain.
Right.
You mentioned earlier that American women also played significant roles during World War II.
They did.
Can you tell us a little bit more about their contributions?
Of course, in the United States, you had around 350,000 women serving in uniform during the war.
Wow, that's a lot.
They were primarily in auxiliary branches like the Women's Army Corps, the Navy's Waves, and the Women Air Force Service Pilots.
Okay.
But their roles were diverse and essential.
What did they do?
They were freeing up men for combat duty by taking on critical support roles.
Oh, wow.
Everything from driving trucks and repairing airplanes to decoding messages and providing medical care.
It's incredible to think about the sheer range of skills and expertise
It is.
that women brought to the war effort. They were breaking down barriers and proving their worth in every field they entered.
And let's not forget the countless women who contributed on the home front, keeping families and communities running while the men were away fighting.
It must have been difficult.
They worked in factories, on farms, and in shipyards.
Wow.
They rationed food, collected scrap metal,
Oh, my gosh.
and volunteered their time to support the war effort in countless ways.
It's truly inspiring to think about the collective effort of women during World War II,
It is.
both on the front lines and behind the scenes.
Right.
Their stories deserve to be told and remembered.
Absolutely.
They were instrumental in achieving victory and reshaping society in the process.
Their courage, resilience, and determination in the face of extraordinary challenges serve as a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit.
I agree.
Their stories continue to inspire us to this day. It's incredible, isn't it?
It really is.
When you dig a little deeper into history,
Yeah.
you realize how much we owe to those who came before us, especially those whose contributions may have been overlooked.
It's true.
The Canary Girls are just one example,
Right.
but their story opens up a whole world of questions and insights into the impact of World War II on so many lives.
For our listeners who are eager to learn more about the Canary Girls and other unsung heroes of the war, what resources would you recommend?
Well, a great place to start would be museums dedicated to women's history
Okay.
or wartime experiences.
Okay.
Many of them have exhibits specifically focused on the home front and the roles women played during the war.
That makes sense.
It's a chance to see artifacts, photographs, and personal stories that bring this history to life.
That's a wonderful suggestion. And what about written accounts?
Oh, yeah.
Are there any books, articles, or personal memoirs that you would recommend
Absolutely.
for those who want to delve even deeper into the lives of these remarkable women?
Don't underestimate the power of personal accounts. Libraries and online archives often have collections of letters, diaries, and oral histories from people who lived through these times.
Wow.
Reading their own words, hearing their voices can be incredibly powerful and moving.
Yeah, right.
You get a real sense of their hopes, fears, and struggles,
Right.
and it connects you to the past on a much more personal level.
Those firsthand accounts are like windows into the past,
They are.
allowing us to step into the shoes of those who lived through those extraordinary times.
Yes.
It's a reminder that history is made up of individual stories, each one unique and valuable.
Exactly. And sometimes those individual stories can reveal hidden truths and challenge our assumptions about the past.
I see.
The Canary Girls, for example, force us to confront the often overlooked contributions of women and the complex realities of wartime production.
It's so interesting.
Their story enriches our understanding of World War II
Right.
and prompts us to ask new questions about the past.
And it inspires us to keep digging,
It does.
to keep exploring those untold stories,
Yeah.
and giving voice to those who may have been silenced or forgotten.
Absolutely.
After all, history is constantly being rewritten and reinterpreted
Yes.
as new perspectives and voices emerge.
Couldn't agree more.
It's our responsibility as curious minds to seek out those diverse perspectives, challenge our assumptions,
Right.
and ensure that all those who played a role in shaping our world
Yeah,
have their stories heard and remembered.
it is.
The Canary Girls story reminds us that history is much more than just dates and battles.
It is.
It's about the lives, experiences, and sacrifices of ordinary people who
Yeah.
lived through extraordinary times.
Well said.
The Canary Girls story has certainly ignited my own curiosity
It has mine too.
to learn more about these hidden figures of history, both from World War II and beyond.
Absolutely.
I'm sure many of our listeners feel the same way.
I'm sure they do.
It's a reminder that there's always more to discover, more to learn, and more to share.
It's been a privilege to explore their story with you today.
It has been for me too.
Their legacy of resilience, courage, and camaraderie is a testament to the enduring human spirit.
Absolutely.
And perhaps their story will inspire some of our listeners to embark on their own deep dives into the past,
I hope so.
uncovering those untold stories that are waiting to be brought to light.
Thanks for tuning in to PastCast. We hope today's episode sparked your curiosity for history.
Me too.
If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and share.
Please do.
Stay curious and join us next time on PastCast.